leadership, and the two-thirds gender rule, how do we counter concerns that simply giving women positions of power because they are women does not improve the quality of leadership? There are deep-seated perceptions that even the effect of women representatives is hard to see. I would like to hear your thoughts on that.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say it is not giving women positions of power. These positions belong to women. It's only women. They're supposed to be given to women. It is the legislation that we have, plus the culture, or the culture that men can be leaders and women cannot be leaders. The way we are cultured. And for culture comes across, it's not just for women, for men, it is even women themselves. Because when I usually say that when you get a girl, when you give birth to a girl, you give birth to alcohol. Eh? Because during dowry, the men will receive alcohol and they will. But when a boy is born, it is a king who has been born. So discrimination starts at that level. And even the way we are cultured, you will find that women are given the nurturing work, the caring work, yet the men are said to be leaders. Even if you go to churches, you are the majority. But you will find that the women, again, are not leaders in churches. In most churches, it is the men because of the culture. Even if that man doesn't understand what goes in that church, he will just be given a position of leadership. So what we are saying, we are actually claiming what belongs to women, and we want a framework to be put and just give a woman a chance at receive. With a good example of our CS here. She started as an MC and now she's a CS. And she has worked and she has not played her way out. She has just worked for it and she has gotten it. We have women who are nominated and they have become governors. They started by being given a chance to be there on the table, and they have worked their way. We started with Cicely Badinen. She was among the women who was nominated, and now she's a governor, and she has been a member of parliament twice. So we are saying, just give women a chance and we'll see what they will do. And let us not talk about giving them positions. It is not giving them positions, they belong to them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In the interest of time, we will not take all the questions right now, but let me throw this real quick to Alberta on GDP. The femicide cases since the last meeting have been on the spotlight, they've been on the rise. Any intervention specifically to target this?
Yes. Yes, there has been. Interestingly, we spoke about it on that table in the morning, and we're talking about it's not an emerging trend, it's been there. When you look at the African census statistics from 2023 to December, no, from 2026 January to December 2023, there were 546 femicide cases. In January, of course, then there were 20, so there were more. So what has happened is, one, there was a protest, and since that protest, we even had the DCI creating a special team to be able to follow through on that. So that also hopefully will make sure that there's access to justice and to stop impunity around it. It was noted that it takes an average of 1,900 days for such a case to be concluded. So there is effort. As latest as yesterday morning, where we had the National Council of Churches actually having a meeting, and that was the only thing they were discussing from 8:30 to 1:30 a.m. discussing femicide. So there is action, that's happening between the different CSOs, but also with different spaces, religious spaces.
Thank you, Alberta. And I know that Peter, you wanted to respond to that as well on male inclusion and the conversation around femicide. Please go on.
One thing I want to say is that the process we are engaging the Council of Elders includes the 42 tribes in Kenya. And the Council of Elders, the National Council of Elders are intended to respecting women and girls. And strengthening the smallest unit of the society, the constitution, and the family. Two, what we're doing is that as we get to bring in more male champions, we believe that things will change at a certain point you get to an issue of balancing everything and respecting the society.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that contribution. I want to throw this question to Jackie, Jackie Bobo, as regards to peace and security for women. This is a very elusive achievement. What strategies do we need to adopt so as to change the narrative of women being victims of insecurity and hostility in their homes, workplaces, learning institutions, and the society at large, and now going into places of worship?
Thank you very much. First, I want to say that that question is so important because it underscores the need to center peace and security in everything we do. And I will start by saying that everything we are talking about, whether we are saying about menstrual hygiene, menstruation doesn't stop because there's a conflict. Gender-based violence doesn't stop because there's a conflict. Or there is insecurity. In fact, it gets worse. So we must, as a people, begin to ask, when do we make this so important so that then every other work stream and everything we do rests on the foundation of peace and security? So how do we make it happen? We have to look at the opportunities there are in the country to make it happen. First, there's a process ongoing on police reform. Could we also participate in the gender sector? Because again, there's a sense that it's male-led and it's male-serving. So how do we get police reform, for example, to speak gender language, to be engendered so that police respond more appropriately? We must also strengthen early warning in the country. As I said at the start, we don't have to start coming in to say, let this conflict be safe for women. We need to start asking, when are we preventing and when are we stopping? So mechanisms to make sure that prevention is mainstream is important, and we have to put resources where they matter. In the interest of time, I'll also say the need to look at the gains that have been made and begin building on those gains. We have gains, for instance, we celebrate, and Madam did say that, we celebrate the fact that now we have the first female service commander, Fatuma. How many more women can step into peace and security? Because as I say, and I dare most of us to look at the peace and security sector and see just how devoid it is of women. How do we step into those spaces in strategic leadership roles so that the response to conflict and violence is engendered in a manner that begins to resolve these issues? I also want to believe that we have an opportunity now. The nation is about to develop the third national action plan. I want to invite all of us to be part of that, not to come in after conflict has happened, but begin to say, here's an excellent opportunity for Kenya to design peace and security in a manner that is more enabling. So I welcome everybody to women, peace and security. It is what is going to make us win in the landscape.
Thank you so much. We actually need to start closing this, so I want to allow you, I'll start with you, Jack, to give us your closing remarks. So maybe a minute, and then we can get each of our closing remarks, and we can close this panel, please.
All right, thank you so much, Kabua. In a minute, I limited myself to matters of policy. The two policies that are about to see the light of the day are the Women's Economic Empowerment Policy, the National Care Policy. These are going to remain papers if we don't have a multi-sectoral approach in their implementation, but also in their monitoring the impact that they bring. For example, I know Madam CS told you about recognition and reward, but also I want to throw in, besides recognition, how do you want to reduce the care work that has been a burden for women so that they could participate in the socio-economic opportunities that exist in our country? One. Two, the policies, we should now have that conversation with the people and the community that we find ourselves. That it's no longer an elitist process. That even dive down, working across our committees, working with our committees, that we're able to sensitize people around some of these policies, but also making them active agents in the implementation and also the monitoring of some of these policies. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Jack. Beatrice, let me go to you next. Give us your closing remarks.
Thank you very much. I want to say that Kenya has very good policies, especially on gender. Implementation is a problem. Kenya needs, and we know, especially on issues of women leadership, one of the biggest challenges is because of resources. When women who are supposed to, women at the grassroots, that's the voters, if they cannot be able to, because they are too busy trying to put bread on the table, and the money is not enough, then you will not find them very interested in issues of elections and leadership and all that. But if we work towards putting money in their pockets, then we will be doing something. We have a research that is going on incubation at African Women's Study Center, where we have incubated 17 women groups. We want to move to take them from table banking to having industrial cottages and to making them exporters and exporters of their products. We have two companies, we have two self-help groups in Kilifi, we have one in Kwale, we have another one in Kisumu and Busia. And they are taking some of the things, they have actually now started building their cottages, and they will be requiring some machines. If we are able to empower women by putting money in their pocket, then they will be able to either be elected as leaders, have time and money to campaign and get elected, or not get bribed with 200 shillings or sufurias, because they will be having money in the pocket and they will support one or some of their candidates. I'm not saying that is the only thing, but we are saying if you empower women, you have empowered a nation, and women are the backbone of this nation. Yet they don't put money in the pocket. Can we remove money from wherever it goes with the brokers and wherever and put it in the women's pocket, and then we ask them to take up leadership? Thank you.
Thank you. Please pass the microphone to Alberta in just a minute. Give us your closing remarks.
Sure, thank you. So if all the other sector working groups, I wish they win, then of course then we don't have genderless balance. But great milestones in the sector that's the LGBT working group. We are currently just working on a lot of standardization so that then we also have quality comprehensive, in terms of response, but also prevention. What I can mention is we really look forward to the strategy and also, to give us just the direction, but also, we really appreciate the great leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Peter, please give us your closing remarks. Asante.
I think being the least party Kenya, we have a lot on our table. And one, we need to go through our concept notes and then send it to the men that are in this house and the men around the country, so that at least we can hit the road. We have strategies, we have advocacy policies that we need to go through. We also have developed policies that we need to customize with men. And we have activities that we need to roll out. I like the media houses they're giving us day in, day out live shows, and men are responding very well. So I believe that when we come here again, we will come back here again, we are going to have good lives.
Thank you.
From the government.
Thank you so much. And last but definitely not least, Jackie, please give us your closing remarks.
Thank you very much. I think women know how to build peace. They do it every day in their homes, in the markets, everywhere. So give women a chance to sit in spaces where they can build peace. Allow women to use local knowledge and the instinctive knowledge of peace building to make this country safer. And if we do, all other forms of violence will not be a trouble for this nation, because women know how to do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Having all done an amazing job. Let's please appreciate them. I will invite them to come up here so we can take a picture, and then we'll transition on to the next section. All right, just move this way, and I would like to invite our honorable CS to kindly join, and yes, to kindly join.